11th, 17th of January. Really disappointing, man. We can see I took 13 trades with 11 losses and one small win. The maximum loss was 3R in one trade, so that's shit. So on Monday, the 12th of January, we got one loss attempt with one win after that attempt. So from the loss, we can see there was no clear 15-minute confirmation from the imbalance. The order block hadn't been mitigated, but the win was good, but because it was pro trend, we should have been putting our take profit nearer the key level. And on to Tuesday, we got two losses, adding up to minus 3.5. This was way too risky, man. Way too risky, like just stupid stuff, man. We entered before CPI and it went in our favor, but swept liquidity below and then just continued up towards the imbalance. And we could see down here, that's the reaction that happened, and the price just went back up to the imbalance. So this was the next day. So from the 6:50 loss AM, we took too much risk against the trend. So that was too much risk against the trend, and I must analyze for intraday take profit, especially with counter trend. And then we scaled in as well, emphasizing again that we weren't in touch with the feelings of the incorrect analysis, lack of market intuition. Wednesday, 3 losses. We got the wrong bias, man. We got the wrong bias. So a little bit of liquidity had been, a little bit of imbalanced liquidity had been swept, and this is the moment that we should have been using our discretionary thinking to go against this mechanical structure, because the imbalance was mitigated and the higher time frame. Mechanically, the higher time frame had switched bias, but discretionarily, it hadn't been like confirmed yet structurally. So we had to be discretionary, and we weren't. We went against that trend, and we lost 2 more trades just trying to get back on a bias that was never in our favor because a higher time frame analysis was wrong. From 8:35, the loss was holding on to the failed conviction that we'd already lost twice on before. Basically going down with the ship, a suicide mentality. Yeah, we need to be stepping back and looking at the market objectively, not holding on to subjective belief in vain. And the Thursday was the toughest day, if Wednesday and Tuesday weren't tough already. We got swept by liquidity at the start. We entered down here, and the order block had just been misgated, but there was liquidity just below the order block just when price went up. At a certain point, price then came down and showed some sort of bearish incentive, and price came down to sweep liquidity below this order block. So order flow was just being mitigated. After the silly changing bias trade, we then got into this trade, and we decided where our take profit was. We decided we'd move our take profit higher because we wanted to make more money. And price went to our first take profit above the imbalance and didn't go any higher, and it completely switched and lost minus 1.54. So we got absolutely destroyed, mate. That was literally a poetic finish to the week. Everything was terrible. Lessons from Thursday, bruv. From 6:20 loss, from the 6:20 AM loss, we should look and be patient of liquidity at points of interest around the key levels. So it won't go straight to the imbalance. It'll sweep more liquidity below where it's trying to reach before it then goes up to that key level. From 10:40 loss, we were moving the take profit because of psychological error, wanting more return. So we minus 1.5R when we also lost, like we also lost that 3R. So yeah, that was really, everything went wrong at that point, and we got the worst of everything, bar losing everything. So the overall lessons is that we need to follow the order block imbalanced order flow. That's minus 4.5 R. Another lesson is the wrong bias. We're being too mechanical, especially on the lower time frames when the higher time frame mechanics had been mitigated. Not being discretionary in that thinking, and because of that, minus 7.5 are big L's on the wrong bias and repeated incorrect plays. Finally, psychological errors in general, just moving the take profit and fearfully entering, just irrationally, no reason other than just emotion. That's minus 3R on top of that, so that's a lot of losses, man. Like, we're getting double figures on losses. So the week 3 lessons where we had like technical following order block imbalance order flow, not waiting for available liquidity, swept order block liquidity, analytical, wrong bias, too mechanical and emotional, and then the emotions of revenge trading and psychological errors. These were the losses from week 1 and 2 combined, which I went over on the last review. 35R, man. That's ridiculous, man. I think that's like everything I've lost this year. So, fuck, bro. This is literally the main things that we can't be, which will change our whole trading around, basically. So that is the first of entering before liquidity is swept and second guessing this fact. Minus 11R, bruv. Minus 11R. That's terrible. Because we're entering before liquidity sweeps and we're second guessing this exact thing. Just hoping, holding trades, just double downing on an entry which may not have been a fully confident entry. Minus 11R, and 2 is having the wrong bias, being too mechanical and not discretionary on the lower time frame when higher time frame mechanics have been mitigated. Following the higher time frame imbalance is so important, and only is the lower time frame imbalance relevant after the higher time frame imbalance is moving to the next. And then revenge trading, man, this is a big one. Minus 15R, man. Revenge trading after an invalidated trade with no new analysis bias. Revenge trading after an invalidated trade and not analyzing after. Be smarter in our analysis, in our patience, in our identification of liquidity, and let's ride these trends correctly and make big moves. Let's get this money, man.